This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show, and we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Agnew.
Hello, everybody.
Now, Frank, tonight you played with 45 Grave. Is this an ongoing thing that you're doing?
I've been doing it since last year.
Okay.
Around October, Mary called me out of the blue. She goes, "What are you doing?" I'm all, "Nothing, and I don't want to do anything." She goes, "You're doing something now." I'm all, "I am." She goes, "Yeah, get your ass out of bed. If I need a guitar player." I'm all right.
You've been on a tour with 45 Grave.
We've been playing a lot of different shows around San Diego, Vegas, here and there, and the other thing. I'm not sure what's in the plans right now. She's got it going on, but I know there's going to be a lot more stuff coming up. We're going to get ready to record this month now. This month we're going to they haven't recorded in ages, but we got a lot of stuff we're going to do, and hopefully have it done by July.
Now, most people know Mary is dying of cancer.
Yeah.
So has she said that she feels that you've infused new life into 45 Grave?
That's what she says.
You don't feel that?
Well, I was always a huge fan of Paul Cutler, their original guitar player, because that guy was just phenomenal. I remember being a kid, going to different shows, seeing him going, "Oh my God, that's what a guitar player is like." Okay. And just having him play all that stuff, and I'm going, "I suck," you know. And then, when she asked me to do it, I'm all, "Yeah, I like a challenge." I was always a fan of that stuff. I was always a fan of that music. So I thought, okay, I like a challenge, and I actually had to do my homework and learn. It's like, okay, what's he doing here? What's he doing here? And I call it Mary. I'm all, okay, there's a few things that are pretty wonky here. What the hell is he doing? She goes, "I don't know, because those are jazz chords." I'm all, "Oh, no," because I don't know jazz. She goes, "Well, figure it out, because we got a show coming up." I'm all, okay. So I actually had to do the homework to figure out what he was doing. She gave me a videotape of, I think it was the last show they did when Rob Ritter was still alive. He was the bass player. And fortunately, the camera was on Paul. And so I'm just rewind. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, that's it. That kind of thing. So, that was the first time in a long time I actually had to oh God, I got to put time and work into this thing to figure it out, because I don't want to go up there and look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do him justice, because I was always a fan of him.
Plus, you have a legacy to keep up.
Exactly. And but you know what? The most important thing is it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because you do all the work, you learn the stuff, you get it all down, you rehearse, but then when it's showtime, it's like, okay, let's just have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's what music is about.
Exactly.
There's a photograph of T.S.O.L. early days, and you're in that photo.
Okay.
Now, tell me how that came about. Were you actually a member of T.S.O.L.?
For about 6 months I was. They were going to go do a whole U.S. tour, and they decided, well, we did a lot of tracks on that Dance With Me album. And I was friends with Jack, so he goes, "You know what, we're thinking about getting another guitar player, just to kind of fill in and do the record like it sounds." And so he goes, "Oh, you're interested?" I'm all, "Yeah, sure." Because the Adolescents had just broken up, the original Blue album, Adolescents. So I'm all, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything." So I did the tour with them, did a few other things with them, and then it was good. It was a lot of fun. But then at that point, they were going, "You know what, we're going to get a keyboard player and go off in a different direction." I'm all, "That's great. Go for it."
Tell me how you got the call to be in the Adolescents.
Yeah, the Adolescents were started by Steve Soto. He got kicked out of Agent Orange, and about a month after that, he first called my brother Rikk and goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm starting a new band." But Rikk was already on the Detours at the time. He goes, "Yeah, he goes, but my younger brother Frank plays guitar too, are you interested?" And he's all, "Yeah, okay." So Rikk goes, "Steve Soto called. He wants starting a new band. You interested?" I'm all, "Yeah, sure." I was 15. I was 15 years old, and it was just, "Hey, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll start a band." And so, because he already had Tony. Because Soto was putting the whole thing together. He goes, "I have Tony." He goes, "I have John O'Donovan," and because I knew John before. And he goes, "Are you interested in playing guitar?" I'm all, "Yeah, okay." And so we just kind of threw it together, and I suppose the rest is history.
We know from listening to that album that it is pure magic. But what do you think? Where did that magic begin, and how did it happen in the studio?
I thought a lot about that at times, because at the time we were doing it, we were just kids. And we were sitting there thinking, okay, oh, cool, we're going to make a record, and maybe we'll sell, like, 100 copies, right?
Yeah.
And, maybe we'll actually get a gig in L.A. And preceding that, all we did was rehearse. That was our life. It's like, okay, well, there's nothing else to do, so we're just going to rehearse. And so we rehearsed and rehearsed all the time because it's what we did. And we were getting some shows, and we broke into L.A., and we're doing shows there. And when Frontier called us and said, we want to do a record. Well, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do a record. And so we're all, well, what are we going to do? Well, let's just do our live set. Because the Blue Album was basically our live set at the time. And so, well, we know that. That record was recorded, mixed, and edited in 4 days. We started on Monday. We were done by Thursday.
That's what punk rock is all about. It's about the energy and capturing that moment.
What it was, the only thing I can come up with about the Blue Album was it caught us at our peak. We were at our peak right then and there when we recorded that record. That's when we were doing our best shows. That's when we were the tightest. That's when we were just feeling really good about what we were doing. And so it was timing. It was the right timing. It just captured us at our peak.
And your songwriting peak, too, because those songs are just amazing. They're untouchable.
Exactly. Rikk would just, that's when he was starting to come, like when he came up with Kids of the Black Hole. I remember he called me and Soda, and he goes, hey, you guys got to come over to my apartment. I came up with this new song. We're all, okay. So we go over there, and what he used to do, he used to get a little cassette tape recorder, and he'd record one guitar part. And then when he'd show us the songs, he'd hit play with the one guitar part going, and then he'd go, okay, now this is going to be your part, Frank, And he would play that along with the tape, and that's how he would write his songs, just in this little cassette thingamabob. And we're all, remember when he wrote Black Hole, we're all, holy cow. And we're all, how long is this thing? He goes, long enough.
Now, I'm wondering, like, once the success hit, did you actually realize that you were having success?
I don't know, because back then the scene was so much smaller. It wasn't like it became. Back when it was actually happening, it was still relatively underground, relatively small. And so when the record did as well as it did when it came out, we were like, wow, I guess people like this, But then we broke up shortly after that, so we never got to reap the benefits of the Blue Album. So the Blue Album kind of, we were done, and the Blue Album throughout the years after that kind of grew a life of its own. And it was just weird kind of sitting back and watching that.
Now, I've actually seen some footage of a show that the Adolescents did at the Hollywood Palladium. Do you remember that?
Was that 86?
No, this is like really old.
Oh, wait. Oh, God, we're going back a lot of years. Palladium, Hollywood Palladium. Who did we play with?
Well, I think you played with T.S.O.L. was one of the bands. It's legendary. There's a flyer for it and everything. You don't remember that?
I have snippets of it.
You were doing an Ozzy Osbourne there. You were having so much fun that you don't remember the actual event.
Pretty much, because I do remember playing the Hollywood Palladium, but it's just snippets. I don't remember the exact time frame and all that. I know we played there. I know we played Perkins Palace. The one show I do remember was when we played Santa Monica Civic with DOA, Black Flag, and us, and there was another band I can't remember. But that, I have a lot of good memories of that one. It was just, I don't know why, but there's some that are just little snippets that just like, oh, yeah, I don't know what happened again. Then again, it was a lot of years ago. And
then during that period, how do you feel your life changed?
I certainly had a lot of fun, didn't I?
So you did.
Yeah, it felt good.
After the Adolescents disband, how does the Heavy Dirt thing happen?
That was just Hedge calling me up, because I've known Hedge for a while, and he called me up in '84. I think it was like 3 years after the Adolescents broke up. He goes, "What are you doing?" I'm all, "Nothing. Leave me alone." He goes, "Well, you're doing something now." I'm all, "What?" He goes, "Have my band Heavy Dirt?" I'm all, "Yeah, you guys play around." He goes, "Well, our guitar player quit. We need a guitar player." I'm all, all right. And then, because Hedge is a phenomenal bass player.
Yeah.
He's so underrated by himself. And so I just fell right into it. We did that for about, I think I was with him for just a few months when we did that EP. Mm-hmm. And that was a lot of fun. We did it at Casbah.
With Chaz Ramirez.
With Chaz, yeah. Yep. And I remember a lot of recording that. That was a lot of fun too, because it was just so laid back, so relaxed. Like, you know, a lot of fun, a lot of party, and that was quick too. I think we did that in like 2 days. So it was just like some of the greatest stuff, just like bang, just like that.
That's the way it's got to be. If you think about it too much, it kind of ruins it.
Exactly. Hey, I know that girl.
Yeah.
And I know that big husky bunny right there too.
Yeah, it is. It is. You kick ass, man. Your bass tone was awesome.
Thank you.
Mm. Oh, Maryville. Oh, let there be love. Let there be love.
Heavy Dirt, was that a pleasant experience for you as far as when you were
Absolutely.
playing shows?
Absolutely. That was a lot of fun. It was just kind of loose and relaxed, and, you know, every show we played was just a barrel of fun. I got some other project going right now that's kind of nameless at the moment, but it's just me and some old OC guys thrown to, you know, we're just doing like a rock band right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a lot of fun. Wrote a bunch of tunes and recorded a record, and we're gonna see what we're gonna do with it at this point. It's finished. It's other than that, just still playing music, still raising kids.
It amazes a lot of people when they find out that your brother is a math professor at Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, my younger brother. He's his math professor at Cal State
Yeah.
Fullerton.
That is kind of mind-blowing.
If you knew him, it's not totally mind-blowing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
he was always brainy.
I think the outside perception of punk rock has always been these street kids that are just out of control, but really what we've learned in the last 10 years with punk rock being worshipped in the media, that most of the early punk rockers actually were very super intelligent.
Yeah, we just didn't happen to fit what was going on back then. So yeah, but yeah, he's loving it. He's doing it. He's a full professor there, and he even looks like one, which is scary.
Yeah. But actually, like a few years ago, he actually played with the Adolescents, the reformed Adolescents.
He did for, I think, one show. They kind of pulled him out of his professor vibe and threw him in there real quick. But a few years ago, that's when I was still doing the Adolescents with my son and Frank Jr. Him and I were playing together for about a couple of years with the Adolescents. I think I don't know how many years have gone by since then, maybe five or so. But that was a lot of fun too. You know, it's just okay. We'll just keep making Agnews, and they'll keep growing up and start playing, and pretty soon there'll be all kinds of Agnews and running around and like a bunch of rats.
Everybody I've talked to from the scene always says that they just got ripped off. They didn't know what they were doing. They signed a deal, and that they never saw any money from it.
The Blue albums, we've definitely been good with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
the Blue album. Everything else was just, kind of just mishandled.
Mm-hmm.
Not anyone, it's, what's this piece of paper? Okay, we'll sign it. But the Blue album with Frontier was always great because Fancher was always good.
Good. I never knew that.
Oh yeah, she was good.
Are you going to be collaborating as far as writing songs for the next 45 Grave album?
Yes. Yeah.
That's gonna be epic.
Yeah, we're working on it right now, and we're gonna record in about 3 weeks, and hopefully people will like it.
Blaring Out with Eric Blair with Frank Agnew signing off.
The Blaring Out Show.